amazing viewers, good day to you all. Welcome to my channel. Ahead of the 2027 election, Arise TV anchor Rufai OSENI has lent his voice to the whole talk about electoral reform. If we recall, Peter Randy, one of the social media activists and influencers that we have, wrote a letter to the National Assembly for there to be electoral reform. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a video to that effect about the House discussing it. Aside from the fact that, okay, there was a report that they are looking at shifting the whole thing of appointment or whatsoever, appointment of the INEC head, to the Judicial Council. Now, if we are sure that the assembly is going to do something about the electoral reform is what we don't know, but I do like Rufai share in the school of thought that there is every need for there to be electoral reform. And can we actually achieve that if we press the neck of the people in the assembly? That I don't know, except we unanimously have millions of Nigeria that actually call for this. For now, it's just a few voices, that I've seen here and there talk about the whole situation. But also, I would love, other people from the opposition to really raise voice to it. I tell you the truth, just like what Rufai, tweeted, if we don't look into it, what happened in 2023 will just be a joke. Something much more worse. Mind you, the people in 2023, the APC, the Tinubu, they never really saw what happened in 2023 coming. They didn't know that, okay, Nigerians were actually going to, give that kind of amount of vote to Peter Obi. So right now, seeing what they saw in 2023, from that 2023 up until now, there is a serious preparation ahead of the 2027, and also things to demarcate Peter Obi. We can see that already being played out. So Rufai OSENI lend his voice, which I am going to read out what the media reported, what he said, and one or two social media reactions of how people are talking about this. But before I get to do that, let me first of all show us this video where a young man has talked about governments lauding themselves instead of the opposite, the people doing it. So I'm going to show you the video of these young folks before we come back to continue from Rufai's talk on INEC election 2027.
There's always arguments if the government is doing well or not, or if the government did well or not. So it's always about what I think, my word versus your word. Meanwhile, it's not supposed to be so. You shouldn't come and tell us, I've done well, or your supporters come and tell everyone, he's doing well, he's doing well. No, there's a way to know that. And I'm going to tell you how to know that in this video. There are three key questions you should ask when you're trying to assess your government. And these three questions will tell you if they're doing well or if they're failing. And the number one question is this: are the people safer, healthier, and expected to live longer? So what is the life expectancy of Nigerians? Because this question covers the health sector, the security sectors, because the people have to be safe. If someone has a high chance of just leaving the house and then gets shot, then the government is failing. If someone is one illness away from losing their lives, then the government is failing. It covers the health sector, how advanced in health this country is. How does the government value human life? So this is key. Number two question is, are Nigerians more educated? What is the consciousness level in Nigeria? Are people more educated? Are more people going to school? Are the young people going to school? Are they educated? So this covers the educational sectors, which is also key. Then the number three question is this: are Nigerians richer than they used to be? Because this covers the economy, this covers infrastructure, because all these things have to be available, work together for Nigerians to be able to be rich. So if you check these questions, because there are data available to answer these questions, and if you go and check these questions, research on them, and then you are not impressed with what you see, it doesn't matter what they tell you, it means they are failing. And there's a reason why democratically you have 4 years for every tenure. It means that 4 years is enough for you to start to see little progress, at least little progress. If the government is very hardworking, you can see significant progress, but at least it's enough to see little progress. And this is not just the president, this is in your state, this is in your local government, how to assess your local government chairman, your president, your governors, your House of Rep members. This is what it all entails. These are the three questions you must ask, and if these answers don't impress you, please don't listen to whatever they have to say, because I think this is one place Nigerians have a lot of problem, because it's almost always a case of the supporters of this group versus this group trying to argue if this person did well or not. There's a way to answer those questions and 100% find out if the government is doing well or not.
completely agree with this young man, that, okay, these indicators are things you will use to know that a government is working, or whether at the federal level or at the state level. These are the things you use to tell if the person is actually working. And I also completely agree with him that in 4 years, you understand, which is stipulated by the constitution, you should be able, our constitution rather, you should be able to see a significant change. And that's the only reason why you see a lot of persons really angry with the Tinubu. Okay, look at Alex Oti, for instance. He's going to be 4 years the same time with Tinubu, and in 2 years we have seen significant change. We have seen some changes that he has been able to make in what is it called, in Abia State. He may not have been able to get the things or get things done the way he wanted to be done, but let me tell you, he has been able to touch areas, okay, that we know that, okay, if you look at it, you see that things are working. Look at the roads. The roads that have, that even the people of Abia State rather have lost hope that, okay, these things will be fixed. Look at him fixing it. Look at some of the things he's doing in the educational sector here and there. And look at him trying to revive even a moribund, company, just to resuscitate it back to life, something that will create employment. So for a very serious government, if you want to do something, in 4 years, people will see changes. And I believe that's what Peter Obi is talking about. Not necessarily fixing the whole thing, but, set the ball rolling that, okay, in the next, even if he leave before the 4 years, there will be something that is producing for Nigeria that Nigerians will be exporting, boosting the economy at the end of the day. So these are things, somebody that really knows what he's doing will be able to keep things, rolling. And for any person that means where that come, will continue from there. The person will continue from there. But our leaders here, I feel like, okay, you must complete 8 years. Anytime I get to hear that statement, North complete 8 years, South complete 8 years, like, it's irritating me. And that is why I want this whole zoning thing to just end. Let's just, for the sake of the soul unity they are trying to preach, whenever they want to, push a narrative that they feel, okay, it's going to benefit them, they should stop this zoning nonsense thing. They should stop it. This coming election should be the last of it. Because it has not benefited us in any way. Most of the leaders from the north, you see them, they display their greed. You go to the south, you go to the west, it's the same, southwest and southeast, it's the same thing. Greed and selfishness is being displayed on daily basis. I just feel like this whole zoning thing has really made a lot of these individuals really selfish and greedy. So to me, we don't have to. It doesn't have to come to play. It doesn't have to come to play. And judging by what he said, if you look at the key sectors, the indicating factors of whether a government is working or not, you see clearly that the Tinubu's administration, they have failed woefully. They have failed, even without anybody carrying anything. No matter what their supporters say, you will see that they have failed woefully, looking at these sectors. So the life of the people, it don't improve. No, it never improve. The health, the life expectancy, how far is it? If for anything, the whole thing has even gotten worse. Everything don't they worse. So it's not by coming on social media space and be shouting up and down. Look at the Alex Oti. Not be the people they talk. It is the people that is talking, not him. So anytime I see the APC supporters talk, I just laugh. Because deep down they know that their life also, it never changed. Aside from the, additional cash that they give them to go and be peddling lies and, carrying propaganda up and down on social media space, it never changed. Some of us, especially from the young ones, we really need to have wisdom. I feel more even pardon the old ones. But you that is young, yet to give birth, yet to marry, we are here. By the time we get married and give birth, we'll start thinking. Raising kids. Look at the educational sector, or look at the education in Nigeria now. See how some people they drop out because they cannot afford to. Some people do, odd jobs, nothing within they do to use get money. Make them feel pay school fees to go and say, there's every need for me to go to school. How much more you that is here to marry to give birth, and give birth rather? Are you thinking about that before supporting leaders who are eating your children's future? Are you thinking twice? Okay. No, I completely agree with everything he said. Some of us, foolishness abound in us. For some of us young folks, foolishness abound. Thank you so much. Please do leave your opinion in the comment section. Let me read out what Rufai, said about electoral reform. Take few social media reactions before we come back to wrap this up. Journalist and broadcaster Rufai OSENI has raised concerns over Nigeria's next general elections, warning that without meaningful electoral reforms and monitoring of independent National Electoral Commission, the 2027 polls could suffer the same fate as the disputed 2023 elections. Posting on his official X account, OSENI stressed that urgent steps must be taken to secure the credibility of the process. If we don't call for electoral reform, properly monitor INEC forms for serialization, make IWEV and beavers justiciable, monitor those that will be appointed in INEC, and raise alarm of partisanship if discovered, 2027 will just be like the 2023 elections, he wrote. The statement quickly drew reactions from Nigerians online, with many agreeing that reforms remain the only way to restore public trust in elections. Notiwedu expressed skepticism, saying that 2027 nothing will happen as long as there is a voting system and people are there. All of us will just cry on Twitter Spaces and move on. Nothing will happen until we are ready. Jane Abba was blunt, if not worse. Another respondent, Bashiru Akambi, predicted 2027 will be a show of shame. Mark my words. Or Kakao Dumodu shared a similar concern. Exactly, without electoral reforms and monitoring, 2027 will be worse than 2023. It wouldn't just be a technical glitch, the entire system would collapse into a rigging mess. Azubike Stanley summed up his position in one line: no reform, no election. The reactions highlight growing fears among citizens that unless Nigeria strengthens INEC independence and makes its technology legally enforceable, the 2027 election may not reflect the will of the people. Pascal saying, I'm glad that Nigerians are gradually coming to the realization that fixing our electoral process is a priority, even over which candidate is running for elections and which platforms they are running on. Has fixed INEC has rigged and died 2027. So far design saying the president should not have the power to appoint the referee of an election they are contesting in, because it creates a clear conflict of interest. It allows the president to handpick someone who may be loyal to him or his party, tilting the process in their favor rather than protecting the will of the people. If electoral reform is to be taken seriously, INEC appointments must be completely free from presidential influence. A neutral and transparent process, whether through the judiciary, civil society, or a truly non-partisan body, should be responsible for deciding who leads INEC, not the president. I agree with you more, but I do not want it to be in the judiciary, because in the judiciary in Nigeria, Otilo, share in that school of thought that 2027, if nothing is done about INEC, INEC electoral laws and the rest, 2027 is going to be worse. In fact, we thought we saw something in 2023. We are going to see worse. And even from the judiciary, we are going to see worse. That's when we will see technicalities. We thought we saw it in 2023. We are going to see it in 2027. God forbid. Should what happened in 2023 happen, and then the opposition decide to go to the judiciary, we are going to see worse of technicality, worst of everything. And that is why I feel like, okay, there should be enough pressure on the assembly to do the needful when it comes to INEC, electoral laws, and the rest. There's every need. I do not even want it to be appointment to be in the hand of the Judicial Council. Yes, so Yakubu Mahmood, his tenure elapsing, I think in November or October, I can't really tell. And we all know that it doesn't end with just removing Yakubu. Yakubu should be punished. Yes, Yakubu should be removed. But who comes on board again is also important. And we know that, okay, for Tinubu, he could allow Yakubu extension or remove Yakubu. But at the end of the day, it is still in the hand of the presidency, to bring in someone there. And it doesn't go well with us. For every year, money is being wasted. Introduction of technologies. INEC has already introduced one, that they talk about earlier this year. And I tell you the truth, these things, they will still not make use of them. They will still abuse this thing. When we were here, is it South Africa conducted the election, and people were seeing the result from the various polling units being displayed live. But what are we seeing here? It got to Nigeria here, they will introduce technology, and then at the end of the 9 minutes, we'll see a different thing happen. There is every need, though. That is why I look at these individuals, including His Excellency Peter Obi, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, even the one Amechi that said he would not step down. I look at them and I laugh. They should start hammering on these things or pick it up the way Nigerians are talking about it. They should start to, except there is one plan that is unwrapped also that we don't know of, that in each of them talking about contesting is preparing, except so. Except there is one. If not, may them begin to raise the alarm. We should start lauding it. Electoral reform is very important. INEC has not changed, and INEC will not change. Look at the registration already. Look at complaints from opposition. By now, we suppose don't see millions of Nigerians for Abuja over this whole thing where they happen about this whole alleged corruption already going on with the registration. Because that's where it starts. We let this one slide, INEC will say, okay, we have succeeded. They just complained, waiting for sign-offs. And there it goes. The next phase will come again. Millions of Nigeria will not hit the street. There it goes. And that's how it keeps building up. Please, please. Nde Chori Ronu election 2027. Join Peter Randy and some of us again talking about this thing. It is very important. Electoral reform. If not, INEC will still run us street. Except to not get one plan. Let me believe you guys have another plan, no? An eye for an eye. Aura for aura. Let me believe so. Let me believe so. If not, please join. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave your opinion in the comment section. Kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Click on the notification bell the moment you subscribe. That way you get to know as soon as I publish. Thank you guys for the immense love. Thank you for all the support. God bless you immensely. I am super grateful. Do enjoy your Thursday and see you guys in my other videos.